When Margaret Winslow saw my bright red house, she didn't just get mad, she went totally crazy in a way that would wreck her whole life. Her face turned red, her neck veins stuck out as she yelled scary things that made neighbors peek out from behind. "They're window blinds, I'll destroy you, Garrett." But her big fit let out a secret I'd hidden for 17 years, one piece of paper that could knock down her kingdom in 1 second. She thought she was the boss of Crestwood Pines. She was totally wrong when she stuck a $5 Zero ticket on my door. I decided it was time to show who really owned this neighborhood. Garrett Hayes' Margaret's voice cut through the afternoon, like a buzz saw her fancy painted nails holding her HOA rule book like a weapon she stomped toward. My freshly painted fence, her nose scrunching up at the paint smell, like it had said something mean to her behind her Clara Boone. Her best buddy nodded like one of those bobbing head toys, her thick glasses shining, this ugly thing breaks rule. 12.3 about what colors we can use. Margaret spit out, flipping through her rule book with shaky hands. "You're all by yourself, making Crestwood's house prices go down and breaking our pretty look." I put down my paintbrush, enjoying the moment pretty. "Look, Margaret, every house here looks like it was dunked in the same bowl of boring tan." The red wasn't just to make her mad. My dead wife Emily had dreamed of a house this color, bright like sunshine, you could feel she'd said on our first date drawing it on a napkin after losing her 2 years ago, painting it red, was my promise to keep her memory alive. In every bright brushstroke, Margaret didn't need to know that she just needed to know I wasn't giving up. "This is crazy." Margaret's voice got so high that it made dogs bark down the street. "I'm giving you a $5 ticket for not following the rules. You have 72 hours to paint it back to an okay color or get kicked out." She waved a already filled out violation paper, proof she'd come looking for a fight. My neighbor Nate almost spit out his drink, and I heard Lisa Monroe's garage door squeak open as the show got everyone watching, kicked out from my own house. I kept my voice calm, even though my hand on the paintbrush got tighter. "Margaret, I've owned this place with no debt since 2008. Right? A quick look crossed her eyes. Maybe doubt. But she kept going. "The HOA has huge powers, Mr. Hayes. Powers you said yes to what she didn't know. What no one knew was that, in 2008, during the house crash, the bank messed up the taking back the house. Papers putting the whole HOA shared land every bit under Crestwood's houses with my buy. I'd gotten it all for almost nothing, and kept quiet to stay out of trouble until now. Ma'am, Walter Finch, the HOA money guy, wheezed, running up his name tag shining. Maybe we should talk about this at the meeting, but Margaret was out of control. Her need to be in charge started from a 2010 house selling mess that ruined her job after customers made fun of her weird apartment colors, her ex's mean divorce words. Your nobody had turned her into Crestwood's boring tan boss. "No talking," she snapped. "Hayes made his choice. He'll pay with a big show." She slapped a red rule breaker sticker on my mailbox, the smack echoing. "I'll bury you, Hayes," she whispered meanly. "You'll beg to paint it tan." Neighbors talked quietly, some feeling. "Sorry, others loving the drama." Clara smiled, meanly muttering about good behavior, while Walter shuffled nervously as they walked off. I turned to Nate. She just started a fight. She can't win the secret I'd kept for 17 years, was ready to blow up her rule apart by morning. Margaret had stuck photos of my house on the neighborhood bulletin board, destroying Crestwood written in red. I stood in my bathrobe, coffee in hand, staring. At her edited pictures, Nate jogged up. "She's totally crazy." Look at her words. Each photo said my rebellion was costing thousands in house prices by noon. She'd called an emergency, HOA meeting, emails, screaming danger to neighborhood rules, the community. Center was packed, buzzing with gossip. Margaret stood at the front, her jacket neat hammer shining. "This rule breaking threatens Crestwood's heart," she said seriously, showing my red house to gasps and mean laughs. "Mr. Hayes has attacked our values." Clara's poster showed house price charts that looked like a kid's science project. "Mr. Hayes," Margaret's laser pointer poked at me. "Explain why you're hurting us." I stood up slowly. I painted my house a color. "I love that's not against the law." "It is. Under HOA rules," she yelled, showing a slide of 27 tan colors. Lisa Monroe spoke up. "What about my garden lights, you said?" "No. How do they hurt prices?" Margaret turned red. "That's not the same." But Lisa kept going. "It's exactly the same. You pick on anyone. Who dares be different?" The room exploded. Neighbors complaining about banned tree houses, rejected signs. Margaret's hammer-cracked order. She gave her big finishing move. I want to claim on Hayes' house for unpaid tickets and lawyer costs. Walter agreed. His voice cracking that night I cooked. Burgers with Nate and Lisa music, just quiet enough to not break noise. Rules, Margaret's curtains moving across the fence. Lisa showed me HOA money papers. Margaret's paying her brother's company 3 times too much for yard work. The pieces fit. Together next morning, a plastic shame photo of my house was tied to my mailbox. Clara making sure every person walking by saw it wasn't her symbol of losing, it was mine of fighting back. I filed a complaint talking about Rule 8.9 about money, honesty. Giving copies to every board member except Margaret. Walter spilled his coffee, stuttering, "Margaret won't like this." Lisa gave me a folder, every rule she's broken. She fined my kids $25 for a lemonade stand. Margaret's getting back at me was fast. My water was turned off, a fake check notice taped to my door. I fixed the pipe myself, doubt sneaking in. Could I win? Emily's drawing gave me strength. Lisa emailed every homeowner showing Margaret's payments to her brother. Thursday's HOA meeting was supposed to crush me instead. Margaret faced a split room. I held up bills, $1, $500 for mulch that didn't exist, $8,000 for tree cutting. That never happened. The crowd got loud. Walter sweating as his name was on every okay. Margaret screamed, "Total lies." But neighbors shouted over her, "Clara's pay or leave," chant dying. Walter ripped up a lawsuit paper, throwing it at my feet. Troublemakers lose, it was empty. Lisa gave me the original HOA charter, its rules, my winning card. Next morning, my truck was covered in pink paint, spelling obey. Margaret blamed teenagers online, but Nate's camera caught her with 2 paid kids at 3 a.m. I scrubbed the paint, anger burning Emily, and I bought that truck together. The video became famous, neighbors calling the police. Margaret's mailbox was covered in foam, her garden gnome stolen. Clara's doormat switched for snitch lives here. Her emergency meeting only got Walter and Clara, her rants about chaos echoing to empty chairs. Nate played the vandalism video. Margaret's denials, fake videos editing fell apart as neighbors saw her. Shopping bag that evening, a tow truck looked at my truck, but Lisa's call and a crowd stopped it. Margaret's lies were falling apart at $10. Suru zeroed emergency fee letter slipped under my door, wanted payment in 48 hours or a claim my bank account was frozen. Margaret's house selling connections, pulling strings at the grocery store. My card said no. Strangers staring, doubt crushed me. Had I failed? Emily sitting at my table staring at her drawing. I almost gave up repaint or tell everyone about my ownership. Lisa's email woke me up, a online money-raising link with $3. Sorcerer raised neighbors sharing Margaret's mean acts, tickets for wheelchair ramps, bird feeders. I wasn't alone. Red spray paint on my door said loser Clara. Bragging nearby, a paper server gave me a lawsuit for saying mean things, damages meant to make. Me broke on my porch, tears fell. I failed you, Emily. Her drawing slipped out. Make it bright, make it ours. I decided to fight. I emailed Margaret demanding she quit, or I'd use my rights as Crestwood's landowner. Her answer through Walter offered $1.00 for my property claim. Not knowing about my real ownership, I set a public meeting. Lisa spreading the news. Margaret came smug with Walter, Clara, and a lawyer. Glad you're being smart. Hayes, she purred, sliding a contract, $1,000 for your claim plus moving money. I opened my folder in 2008. The bank put Crestwood's shared land with my house. I own every bit under your homes. Silence. Her lawyer grabbed my deed. Turning pale, you're lying. Margaret gasped. I held up my phone recording. You offered $1.00 for $2 million in land on camera. The room exploded. Clara's notebook fell. Walter fainted. I own it all. I said I never used it because I'm not a mean person, but push me and I will. Margaret's lawyer ran away muttering about bad advice. Neighbors clapped, rule books hitting the floor. You hid this. Margaret screamed. I lit her rule book, dropping it in a trash can. I end the HOA. All rules are gone. Neighbors burned their copies, planting colorful houses, free gardens. Margaret ran away, her house, soon for sale. 3 months later, a new family asked about HOA rules. I laughed, pointing to my red house, Nate's purple one, Lisa's green. No rules, what color's your house going to be? They smiled, teal with yellow trim. Crestwood grew beautiful, a reminder of freedom, Emily's red dream alive, and Margaret's mean rule a fading stain.